Hi, this is Michelle Ferguson of Two Brothers Blankets. Today I'm going to show you how to do the Fair Isle Crochet Technique. Fair Isle Crochet is a form of crochet color work. How you create this color work is floating your yarn behind your work. So tapestry crochet, you work over your yarn. You crochet over your yarn that you're not using. For Fair Isle Crochet, you will float your yarn behind your work. So for Fair Isle, you will have a distinct right side and wrong side because you'll have all these floats in the back of your work. Fair Isle Crochet can be used for many different projects. I have crochet hats, I have cowl patterns, and even a sweater pattern that uses the Fair Isle Crochet Technique. It's a really simple, beginner-friendly, I would say, technique. Most of the time you'll find that the Fair Isle stitches are single crochet stitches and you're just changing color as you go. And I'm going to show you how to do that. A lot of times it is worked in the back loop only because the back loop only gives your designs, it helps them stand up real straight. When you use both loops, you'll sometimes see a lean. And if you don't like that, you want to use your back loop only. An important thing to remember about Fair Isle Crochet is that you'll want to definitely pay attention to your tension. When you're changing colors, you don't want to pull too tight or tighten or loosen your tension, or that's going to affect the look of your design. But you can use this technique for so many different things, and it's really fun. I find it quite fun to work on these kind of projects. So let's get started, and I'll show you how to do it. Okay, before we go any further, most of the time you're going to find a chart on your Fair Isle crochet pattern. So this is the 6 to 12 months. Ignore the 6 to 9 months. It's 6 to 12 chart. For the Paris beanie, you are going to be working from the bottom up, from your brim up. So you're going to read the chart the same way. For this particular chart, we are working from the bottom up. Be sure if you're reading another pattern or another chart to look at the notes, and it will should tell you how to read the chart, up or down, down, bottom up, top down, however you need to do it, left, right, left. For this one, you're going to be doing bottom up, left to right to read it. It will not make a difference if you are right-handed or left-handed. It will still all work out the same. You're just going to be working in the opposite direction with your stitches, but they're all still going to turn out the same in the same distance, the stitches, the number of stitches, and all that. So when you're reading it, you're going to read bottom to top, left to right. So let me show you how to do that. So that first row we're just using, so the white squares are color 1, the gray squares are color 2, which is my pink color for this one. So for the row 1, we're working all the color 1. For row 2, I'm moving up to row 2. We're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in color 1, and then 1 in color 2. And then we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in color 1, and then 1 in color 2. And then we're going to repeat that sequence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, color 1. And repeat it all the way. And then you're going to get over here, and you're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 at the end, and you're going to join, and that's your 66 stitches for 6 to 12 months. So that is how you read the chart for your Fair Isle crochet projects. Most often you will find one in the pattern with a note on how to read it and follow it. To change colors in Fair Isle Crochet is very simple. You are working your single crochet, and before you finish out your single crochet, so let me start this one over. I insert my hook into the back loop, I yarn over and pull up a loop. And I have 2 loops on my hook. To change colors, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop this pink color. I'm just going to let it go. And then I'm going to come over here and grab the gray color. And then I'm going to grab it on my hook and pull it through those 2 loops. That's going to complete that last pink stitch right there. And now I have my gray color as my working yarn. So I'm going to do, I have to do 7 stitches in this gray. So I'm going to do a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whoops. And then for the 7th, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to insert my hook into the back loop, yarn over, pull up a loop. I have 2 loops on my hook. I'm going to drop my gray yarn, and I'm going to pick up my pink yarn. And then I'm going to pull it through. You can give your gray yarn a little tug, not too tight, just a little bit to even it out. And then I'm going to insert the pink into the next one. I'm going to do 3 stitches in the pink. So 1, 2, and then insert my hook, pull up a loop, drop the pink, pick up my gray, pull through. So that's how you change color, and this is where you get the yarn floating in the bag because you're just picking it back up and working your color work in there. So it's really quite simple, and you just do that all the way around for the number of stitches you need for each color, and that's all there is to it. Okay, so a key factor to Fair Isle Crochet is what's called catching your float. So when you're working Fair Isle Crochet, your non-working yarn floats behind your project, and why it's called a float. So to catch your float means you grab it halfway through your amount of stitches just to keep it nice and taut and even against that work. Here's an example of when I didn't catch my yarn. It's got a big gap, it messes with your tension, and it just creates more issues than when you grab it or catch it right here. So my rule of thumb is to catch my float if there are 7 or more stitches in a sequence of color work. So for these hearts, I'm doing 7 stitches across at the middle. So I'm going to catch my float in the middle of the heart, the stitches for the heart. So I'm on my 3rd pink stitch, so I'm going to change over to my gray stitch. And I'm going to work 1, 2, 3 stitches. Now I'm going to catch the pink yarn on this 4th stitch. So I'm going to go ahead and grab it. I'm going to hold it right up against the back of my work. I'm going to insert my hook into the back loop of that 4th stitch. And as you can see, that pink yarn is right on top of my hook. I'm going to grab the gray yarn and pull through just like I would do any other single crochet. Now I have grabbed that yarn. And then I'm going to finish out my stitch. Now I just let this pink go and continue working. So 4, 5, 6, 7. Now I'm ready to switch back to pink, so I just drop my gray, and I've got my pink right here waiting for me because I grabbed it. It's not way over here, and I'm going to work my stitches. And that's all there is to it, and it keeps it nice and even. It has your yarn, it brings your yarn along with you as you're working your project, and then it'll be ready for you when you're ready to pick it back up right there for the next time you need it. So that is how you catch your float.